I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to Complete Trader Academy Daily Review. Today is August 2nd, Wednesday, 2023. So we got this bearish candle here, which is kind of what we expected. We got news coming, and wasn't much news at 8:15, but it did kind of, if you were patient, you waited for the move, fake move from the open, and then taking a sell right back up into this area here, into this 4-hour block. Sold off from there for the rest of the day. Look, came right for that liquidity sitting right there. Mentioned yesterday, watched that video, said that we either pop up or we'll come down, and we gapped down pretty hard. That was a very big sign that they were going to even leave the remaining gap open for a later time. Could be months, could be years, who knows. But I've seen plenty of this before. They'll dangle that carrot. You can see it here on the daily right there. Big gap right there. There's no bodies there, so we'll probably come back to it. I don't know if we're going to come back to it before we reach here, but our targets are here, right? If you look on here on the fib, 50% right here, fair delivery is going to be somewhere here. So we got that daily imbalance above it. Been mentioning this for a while now, but finally when we cracked here, we came back to the highest retracement you can to wipe people out. And then that was your target there. So let's go in a smaller time frame. See that big gap here. So yesterday when we made the video, we were damn, everything always highlights. We were here underneath this cursor right there, right? So that high was set in with that high, so it was a less likely chance for it to come up here, but anything is possible. So, but at the same time, the better idea of where we were going was going to be down here, obviously. So where did we get the big we got the big tip from them is because of this big gap. So when we retraced, we didn't really seal it, but we didn't have to because this price range is balanced. So we came back into here, sort of like a resistance area here. We might save that for another time, but look at all of this happened in Asia and London. So dropping down here to Asia, didn't break that low, right? Did not break that low. So when it didn't break that low and it started bouncing up, obviously I don't trade at that time, so but it retraced up. If you were a trader, then I'm sure you caught that. When it reached up here into Asia, you know, this was a great sell getting into this block right here, and pretty much this resistance area here, and inversed imbalances right here, and made a lower low. Now we're still London time. London pushes it back up. So you got your lower low, you got your lower high, you got your lower low, you got your lower high. So I did pretty much fib work today, and this is how it panned out. I'm going to show you a better time frame than this because I can't show you on a 5-minute. But all right, so here's how my day went. And over here, when we reach, this is 7 o'clock, so I'm not even not looking. So I decided to be ready by 8:15, right? So 8:15 did this. I'm gonna try to make this video short because my purpose is to just give you education here, technically. So right here, this is 8:15, and notice you have to pay attention to these details. It would go over your head if you didn't see it, but you see how this 8:15 candle makes this high, this next one makes this high, and then well, I saw this on a 10-second actually. So let me see if I can go to a 10-second for you. But where are you at? Here. But on this 10-second, you see, it's hard to show you this. So this 10-second chart, you see the 15-minute candle, that high, pops up again, pops up again, pops up again. Equal, all equal. So I knew that sometimes you got to understand the news will send price, or the open will send price to previous news areas where people were selling from here. Okay, so I'm not a part of this, even though I'm wanted to be early. So I did take this trade here, and I'm not going to show it and deal with all that, but Took the profit to here and closed the trade. Still went up here, but looking for sells. Where did the sell go? Look, this is that 815 level exactly. So look how the price comes right to it, and with confluence you have this at the 70, and it is in on the 15-minute here. If you see this 15-minute, we retrace back up, which is that 9 o'clock open. Well, this is pre-9, so this is when I caught it, was at 9:05 actually, and then came back into the block here. And I know you can't see it, you don't need to see it, I'll show it to you anyway, but these down candles right here. So price holds in here, take it up to here. I'm not screenshot, I'm not doing any of that shit. I ain't got time for that because there's no way. Just need to be focused. But here price rushes right to it. I take a loss here first because, to be honest, I was just really thirsty. I just wanted to get in the trade and I was a little eager, but lost the trade here. And then price comes up here, and I'm already out of this trade obviously, right? And then price comes up to here perfectly, and on the 15-minute you'll see this last candle right here. See that? Look to the right, we reach right almost to the open, but we didn't reach the open exactly. So that was okay with me. We were already inside this candle from the low to the open, so that was good enough for me, and waited for confirmation here. Price breaks down and comes right back into that block right there. That was your sell. And remember, we had the confluence of here too with that 815 news there, and that's where people would have, if people got in early and sold, this is where you'll notice every time we get into an entry, the price will come back to generally where we were getting in, right? And it's not a coincidence. It's designed that way. So with my understanding, all right, so that's the sell here. Take it, where are you going here? Now the sell, obviously I have two pieces of liquidity. I have the one that was formed in London, which was what, 4 o'clock or whatever. Yep. And obviously I'm not trading at that time, but what is the other bigger picture on the 4 hour? The 4 hour. So if you take a look, if you watch the previous videos, I was mentioning that I wanted to see, remember when we got here, I was like, oh, I want to see lower low, lower high coming down. Well, they didn't do it here. They went up 2 more drives. 1, 2, came up. Then they did it. Came down, came up, came down, came up, came down, came up, came down, right? And then I took a buy here, and obviously I'm out of the trade, but in a normal case, I would have wanted it to come somewhere up here. Doesn't have to go far, but I mean, I'd like for it to retrace somewhere in here, maybe a 50%. So this was the logic framing the day. When the trade is taken here, okay, you want to take out this big pool of liquidity. So which is at least here. This is the minimum right here. So, but in addition to this low that was at 4 or something in the morning. So, and all that is already shown to me. This is all of this has already been done from here to here. All this has already happened. So it's almost like 2 days worth of worth of data, and what's funny is, and structure, and they did it pretty fast, obviously. So that gap was the big tip away. We've been waiting for something like that. We've been waiting for something to say, hey, you know, we're coming down, right? That's a very big red flag, right? Or green flag. So anyways, come down and we take the low here of this first liquidity, which is right there. Okay. We run through it, and guess what? We end up tapping that low right there. So this is in my model or my system, how I trade. I look for these trades to take the buy from after taking a big, nice liquidity piece, right? And I want to retrace it, get the retracement. So the buy gets taken here. As far as the loss goes down here, I did get what do you call it? I did try to take this here. Thought they might buy it above this low and keep it intact. This was me just trying to be thirsty. See, when this candle went back up and came back in, I was like, oh, I got you. And then took me out, and then price came back, came down again. And look, I was telling you how shady they've been being recently. Look how low they came. but it ended up panning out. And my intention of taking this buy was obviously after taking this liquidity, I want to get to a 50 level or maybe even higher, and then take some liquidity here. But here's what happened. Obviously, when the price came down, I still stayed in the trade here because I was pretty confident in coming back up. Price came almost to the 50, and when it reached here, I can see that we have obviously these two big gaps right here, especially that one. And then the last candle up, if you look to the right, look where it is. See that? If it's going to sell, right, it's probably going to sell from here. But at this point, I'm not trying to be involved too much. So I'm out of this trade, taking the profit. Sure enough, it comes down all the way back on me. And then I don't get involved for the rest of the day. Only because this, look at this shit. This was after 11:30 was super ugly. And all this choppiness. Once I took this profit, I did take this buy right here when it came back into its candle, and I was like, all right, cool, we're gonna come up and we're gonna take these guys out right here and come up here, you know, and being a little overconfident, but it didn't pan out, went against me, and then didn't do shit. I didn't touch this because this thing is leaking. Look at it. Like, and I understood this. I thought I was trying to be smart and I could, you know, it'll push all the way up. Man, they were really just trying to come and get this down here. So anyways, it's okay if I didn't get a part of all this. What I did do is I waited for a specific time in the power hour for me to catch this buy, because now that we take this low, look what the time is. The time is 3:30. I mean, on the head. Okay, so that's generally where I'd like to see the last 30 minutes. You know, try to retrace back up and wipe out all the easy sellers here. Because don't get me wrong, I see all these sells. Look at the lower high. I can see them very clear. But I'm like, man, with the liquidity just being there so perfectly, I'm like, man, I'm not going to be a part of it. This thing's going to shoot the hell up. And I left it alone. And you know what? Thank God. It's better to be out of the trade and it's better to be out of the market and not overstay your welcome, because I'm going to end up, you know, getting a little, you know, I don't know what's the word you want to call it, but overzealous maybe, I guess. But this trade here, once it takes out this low here, and I'll show it to you. I don't usually have all these lines. I don't have all these fibs marked. I'm doing this so you can see it too. So understand that. But as soon as we took out that low, all right, I'm waiting for my pattern here. Okay, which I took this trade, this buy here. Once we came in and came back in, I entered here, and we had already grabbed that low, and I was like, all right, watch them just grab it and run off. I guess I'm married to the idea of always trying to have them screw everyone over by retracing back. I've trained myself that way, and sometimes it you know, obviously I fail because of it, but at the same time, the logic and the idea of it, I'd rather keep my flow that way. If anyone asks me what's my model or system, that's what it is, because 9 out of 10 times is generally the case. So, I mean, could this thing have sank to hell? Sure, it could, but at the same time, man, it not realistic either, because this is still a demand area. There's still a lot of liquidity that can push this thing up too. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and I'm aware of a wick might be forming in the body, not really closing inside it. Like, all these things is just experience, and you just can't teach. You can't mention everything. It's just too much to mention. But the point is that taking this trade, I took it because I was eager, you know. And then once this happened here, I was like, for sure, I'm taking this. And sure enough, my goal was to come back up to the 50. And it again, it's failing. It's not reaching there. So once we came up one more time, and look what time it is. I'm like, when I'm taking this trade, my intention is to take it all the way till 4 o'clock, because I know the last 10 minutes they're gonna juice it. So, but I didn't get what I was looking for. I was hoping they would shoot that shit the last 5 minutes, and they didn't, and they started bringing it down, and I closed the trade. So I ended up closing like right here. So and that was it, and that's the whole purpose of this trade. So I don't have to be right, I don't have to, it doesn't have to pan out all the way, but I know I'm gonna get some money here. I mean, you're gonna get 50 to 80 points guaranteed with this. I mean, maybe not guaranteed, but in general, you know, the logic is, you know, especially with this big down candle, this is a model in itself. This big stretch of a down candle on a 15 or an hour, and then, you know, I mean, go back to, I said, you'll see it'll retrace. It'll always retrace to most of the candle, if not looking for liquidity above or even higher. So that was what I was, and this thing is probably still going to go higher, actually. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It can. Can we come still more lower? Sure, we could. I mean, like I said, anything's possible. But when you're playing with these odds of what's likely to happen, that's how you get on the right side of the track. But this big gap was a huge giveaway. And I was like, holy shit. When I seen that, I was telling my girls, like, yo, this thing's going to sink. And what did that structure look like? Well, I mean, as you can see here, even just on the 1 hour, failed high and then breakthrough, right? We didn't break through yet, but I'm saying we came all the way back to literally this pool is too big now after it even bought up. So you can put your fib from, oh, it's not on here. Let me change this time frame, dude. Like, even when you look at this perspective here, from that high to that low and retracing back, look how it's sitting at the 70. It's respecting the bodies. It's just a lot of confluence with that. And if you were to what do you call it? So if you measured that, okay, cool. And then if you measured this, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but the reason why we were happy to take sells is because it took out that liquidity. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the video. So that piece of liquidity right there, that was the other reason why that we were looking for sells, because we came up, once we came down, you got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So it comes and takes liquidity. It is at a 79, and it is tapping that imbalance right there. So there's a lot more to it than just what you see, but that's the framework and logic of what happened. So and then that will explain to you what this retracement is. Can't remember if I mentioned it in the beginning video, but anyways, but yeah, man, so that was pretty much the day. And I think I've already mentioned what I expect tomorrow. I really don't want to be trading too much right now anyway, after these news, so I might be taking a step back. This was actually a little bit draining. Wasn't hard or anything, but it was just like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with this area, only because there's a lot of options that can happen here. Obviously, it can come down and then come up, or this can go up first and then come down. So for me, I would like to say let it retrace first. If I'm looking for the next sell, I want it to be somewhere in here. Could stop even here though, so I don't know if we open up the rest of this week first coming down, then retracing. You see, so this is going to get tricky. Let it play out, let it do what it wants. And then dollar here was a pretty good giveaway as well. We were shooting up for dollar and getting right into that imbalance that I've mentioned some videos ago. I can't remember, but we ended up reaching that. So it's going to be interesting what dollar does here. Does have some more room to go up, so I'm expecting us to come down first, but the dollar might, come up into this last candle and maybe start coming back down. I don't know if it busts through. Does the Fed and does the elite, sweep the rug from everybody while they're standing, and then break up to up here? That will push everybody down. So, so I don't know if it's going to bring us where this is going to come from here, but we did get this objective accomplished and this objective was accomplished, but now we're trying to look for here for the final retrace. Not final, but we're looking for a nice enough retrace back into somewhere here at the least. So and even if we stay bullish and we keep going up, that's fine. If I show you this chart here, so like if it retraces to here, big ass imbalance right there, and we retrace to here and then keep going up, I'm okay with that. If we never fucking come down here for the rest of our life, I don't care either. So, you know, I've been the marriage idea of coming down here and even breaking these lows was I've been married to that a little bit too long, even though I know it should be here. But at the same time, logically, if that was a good enough retrace after COVID, and they've already priced it in, which I think they're full of shit. But if you know, then we're at least going to come here, and then we can keep coming up to take out these, you know, highs, and then we could possibly, you know, reach up here at the end of the year. So the last quarter, October, November, December, and then maybe kind of come our way down and get all these people that were, you know, from here. That seems logical to me, but at the same time, I still like us coming, you know, with something like this. So something in that nature I'd like to see. So all right, hope this helps. You guys take care and God bless.